Hey, what's up everyone? Today we're going to talk about the developers' response in terms of hiring more people for Helldivers 2. We're also going to take a look at some more information about the Galactic War Map update. The developers also tell us that the CEO is going to inform us here soon on exactly what's going on with Helldivers 2, because they do plan on updating and improving the game overall. So with that being said, let's go ahead and dive right into this. Let's begin by talking about the next update, because I'm sure a lot of you are curious as to why we did not receive a patch this time around, and there is a good reason, because the developers are still cooking. Well, that's at least what this developer had to say. What you can see right here is a member that had this to say over at the Helldivers 2 Discord. I was surprised that there wasn't a patch. They've been pretty consistent at fixing something. The developer named Evil Boss replied with, "We still cooking." Okay, so I will take that with a grain of salt and assume that they are building up something really special here soon. Whatever it is, maybe it's the Illuminate, maybe it's more weapons, who knows? But let's go ahead and take a look at this next post. What we have here is a member that asked a question about the communication, because as of right now, when it comes down to these major orders, or really any communication, it's all done on Discord. And as you would imagine, a lot of players were frustrated that there was no communication being done. So this is what Twinbeard had to say in response to all of this. Yo, we're discussing other platforms and ways of communicating. There are many ways that could work: screen in-game, bulletin in-game, or in menu. An official Reddit, the subreddit is not ours per se, or simply being on a current subreddit more, newsletter, etc. Again, this is due to us being overwhelmed by the success of the game. We're still playing catch up, we're getting there slowly, but it's a time-consuming and resource-heavy process. Okay, so just for a slight second here, I do want to chime in and say that this right here is an excellent idea. I love the idea of having a screen in game that could tell me what's going on, instead of me pulling out my phone or going to Discord and checking out what's going on there. Or let's say I have to head over to Reddit and see the same exact information, right? So moving along here, we can see that a member responded to Twinbeard by saying, "Why is Arrowhead so opposed to putting the communication in game? The game is the platform. Am I missing something? Seems silly that they are continuing to put any effort into a third-party communication still." Twinbeard responded to this post by saying, "Hi, we're not opposed to it at all. I don't think I've said anything along those lines, but if I have, I was being unclear or misinterpreted. I've said that we want some sort of in-game comms, but that it's not something we'll be able to scramble soon by just pressing a button." A completely different member had this to say in response to Twinbeard. Spitz said something like, "That's why we think AH is opposed to it." Twinbeard replied with, "I know we haven't confirmed we're doing it, but AFAIK, we haven't said that we don't want any." Of course, AFAIK is as far as I know, which I didn't know that, by the way. That's a interesting way to shortly say that, but let's continue on, because this member right here had this to say. Spitz, during the initial Joel talk of Martel, was pretty against you as game masters directing the masses. Railroading, I believe he called it. We need instructions, though we are managed democracy, not being managed. There are 10 open planets bot side right now, with the defense not being focused at all. Side note here, if you guys would like to, check out my previous video, because I believe I did go over that information specifically with Spitz. But this right here is what Twinbeard had to say in response to that. Sorry, but not sure what that has got to do with us possibly having in-game communicating in the future. Just to be clear, the question I was replying to was some sort of one-way communicating, informing you about things, dispatches, orders, updates, etc. Not a system for communication between players. Maybe that's where the confusion lies. So right there we have confirmation. There is not going to be some sort of player-to-player chat communication amongst all the other players. I guess it would be kind of like a Discord feature, right? Where, you know, multiple people can chat. It's not going to be like that. What it's going to be instead is it's going to be a way for the developers or maybe the community managers to kind of respond to us by saying, you know, hey, here's the dispatches, here's the major orders, here's what's going on, you know, updates, just all sorts of things, right? This right here is what it's supposed to be. So with that being said, let's continue on and take a look at this next response. This member, Kip, over at the official Helldivers 2 Discord, had this to say in response. Well, you were saying you didn't believe anyone said anything against in-game communication. While that's something in-game from the managers of democracy, it would make more sense if dispatches actually told us where to go than soldiers deciding with other soldiers, at least with how the system currently works. Twinbeard responded with, that's the confusion then. Sorry, I've probably written 100 posts today here. Things go too quickly sometimes. I've been talking about a system for us as devs to post information, dispatches, updated orders, short infos, etc. A hybrid of the announcements and dispatches we do here, and the order of info in-game. I didn't mean a new system for communicating player to player. Sorry for any confusion. So again here, Twinbeard is doubling down that this is going to be a communication for the developers to inform us about certain things, and not for us players to talk to other players about stuff. Which, by the way, can you imagine if they did allow us to chat with other players? I mean, a bunch of players, like millions of players. It would be bad. I mean, there would be so many bans, it would just be like Discord, and Discord can get pretty bad in itself. Next up, what we have here is a user named Forcible Giraffe. Interesting name there, but yeah, this is what he had to say in response to Twinbeard. Hey, I think it got lost earlier, but I was wondering if there were any talks about altering the way libcap works. As great as in-game communication may be, I'm concerned it may not be enough because Blob just really likes bugs. Twinbeard responded with, today has been very hectic, but I've gathered some intel from Joel, and we'll try to get that distilled and put into words tomorrow or Thursday at the latest. Some bits and bobs about this and that, stay tuned, smiley face. So, as you can tell right there, the community manager is going to relay some information from the CEO to us, and we'll see exactly what goes on. I think this is interesting. Hopefully there is some information about a new war bond, new stratagems, actually better yet, maybe a new update. That would be great. With that being said, let me know what you think down below. Do you think it's going to be some new stratagems and update to fix some bugs? What do you think it is, or what would you like it to be? Let me know down below in the comments. Continuing on, what we're going to do now is take a look at one more post by Twinbeard because he does go into some details about hiring more people. This member right here had this to say in response to Twinbeard. We appreciate yours and the team's diligence. We know it can't be easy to have this many screeching apes aimed at you guys, but please tell them to start hiring big time, LOL. It's painfully clear the game has outgrown the team. And then Twinbeard responded with, it's actually almost the reverse. The game had outgrown us, but we're starting to catch up, slowly but steadily. We're hiring more people, nailing new processes down, etc. We've been and are still in many ways playing catch up for 2 months after the initial vertical onslaught success. But now we're slowly getting there. It'll take time for sure, but we'll get there. With all this information being said, let's go over kind of a quick recap here. So what exactly is going on? Well, what we know so far is that there's going to be some sort of in-game communication, not for players to players, but for the developers to tell us what's going on. We know that the Arrowhead CEO, Joel, is going to inform us tomorrow, but basically Twinbeard is going to relay that information. And last but not least, we know that Helldivers, or Arrowhead, is going to be hiring more people for Helldivers 2. There is a lot to be excited for when it comes down to Helldivers. We know that the developers are cooking as well, so there's a lot of things that are coming our way. We just don't know when it's going to arrive, but tomorrow we should kind of get a hint, at least what I'm assuming. But let me know your thoughts down below on everything that we have talked about in today's video. If you have any questions, comments, or anything like that, let me know. If you have not done so, subscribe, turn on the notifications. I have a Twitter account you can follow. I also have a Discord with quite a few members, so definitely go over there, talk to us. With all that being said, thank you guys so much for supporting the channel. If you have any questions, remember, comment down below. Thank you guys, and I'll see you all in the next video.